Hello YouTube, this is your buddy Cigar Shark. Well, I have a very long update today. I'm going to be talking about a range of topics, some random, some rants. I promise I won't be too long with any of them. I'll just, flow on to the next one. Stay tuned because I'm going to be introducing some of the top best cigars, in my opinion, that you can buy today. Um, Also, I just want to let you guys know that I will be going on a break soon, and I will address that in the video. Having some issues with family, health issues, so I'm trying to take care of that right now. Um, Appreciate you guys for hanging in there. Hopefully, after my break, I can come back and do some more stuff. Who knows? I'm also trying to take care of my own health and not trying not to smoke as much. But this will be a good video because I will be talking about a range of things. And, if you guys need a comment or whatever, go ahead. I also, like I say, I've tried almost every single brand out there. So I think I have a good idea of, what's good and bad. So anyways, stay tuned, guys. See you in a second. Hello, everybody. This is your buddy Cigar Shark here. Sorry, guys. It's been so long. It looks like I lost some people and gained some different people. But, I just, to be honest, I've just been really busy with a lot of things. And, I'm also reconsidering smoking because I've had some family issues come up. So, let's first start on my last video because I know I promised you guys, an update on the Opus X and, my feelings about it. Well, it turned out the place I went to, they not only charged me, full price for it. I paid about $40 for per stick, which is crazy. And I bought I think it was like 4 or 5 of them. I bought the Oro Squirrel. Was it Oro Squirrel? Oro something. I bought the Perfection, and I bought the something else versions of Opus X. And when I came home and I tried them, they were all bitter. Can you imagine that? Like, can you imagine just paying that much money only to find out that they all come out bitter? I don't understand, you guys. It's nuts, and that's why I don't have a good rap with Arturo Fuente because in my experience, his stuff is either good sometimes or either bad. And I talked about this with another, tobacconist that I go to, and he mentioned, oh well, maybe he got a bad batch. Well, he must have gotten a lot of bad batches because the place I went to was like stocked with a bunch of Opus X. I mean, I don't know if he's having humidification issues. Excuse this little thing here, sorry. Let me just get that out really quick. I know it's kind of annoying. Okay. Oh, now it's on the other side. Okay. Yeah, it's ridiculous, guys. Yeah, you should not ever have to pay. I should have went back, actually. I should have went back and I should have told the guy, hey, this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, this is ridiculous to him. I'm going to be polite, right? But I should have told him, that, hey, is there something wrong here? I paid, a lot of money for this. Why is it not smoking correctly? There was one Opus X that did taste like something other than bitterness, but it was a complete pepper stick. I mean, it just complete pepper all the way through. It was disgusting. I mean, and that's not what I expect when I smoke a Opus X. I've had the worst Opus X, which is the Lost City, and that was way better than these ones, way better. And by way better, I mean it was decent tasting, but the Lost City is not really anything to brag about. It's a good tasting cigar, but it's not like amazing, for what you pay for it. So that's kind of my summary of what happened in my last video, because I know I promised that I was going to review them and this and that, and it was just a major letdown, guys. Like I was pissed off. The only other brand that I pay, nearly as much for is Padron or Cohiba, or, maybe some other labels. Not really, though. Usually just Padron or Cohiba. But, it's a letdown. And I don't know how other people feel about Fuente. I think people overhype it. I think people sometimes just don't know what they're in for, what they're tasting. I think, I have a theory that some people just, when it comes to Opus X and Toro Fuente, whether or not, sometimes there could be a bad batch, or that maybe they didn't get something that was good. But people say it's good anyways because they don't want to look like a fool in front of everybody else and say, oh, this is horrible, when Opus X is supposed to be well known around the world. But there is quality control issues, and maybe there isn't any quality control issues. Maybe it just has to do with the tobacconist that I go to. I don't think so. I don't think that should be the case. But it's absolutely ridiculous because, Arturo Fuente does not distribute these Opus X's everywhere. It's limited to certain areas, and tobacconists that I go to are all pissed off because they don't have access to it. You have to get on a seniority tier list if you're a tobacco shop selling, cigars and whatnot, to be able to even land a chance with Opus X. So, the ones that do get it are very fortunate. And, this place where I live, seems very fortunate to have a bunch of them in stock. And, he sounded, pretty decent guy when I was talking to him. He's, asking me, this is my first Opus X, have I ever had one before? And I talked about the Lost City. And he's like, oh yeah, this is way better than Lost City, And so I got all excited, and, I wanted to share my experience with you guys. But, when I got home and I smoked it, oh God, it was just a horrible mess. And trust me, guys, I have a very extensive palate. At the end of this video, I'm going to be recommending, my top selection for, what brands I think are the absolute best. And Fuente is not really on there. And I'll explain why too. But, I do want to show you guys that I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to cigars. I think I have a very refined palate. I've tried all sorts of flavors. I've tried all, different size cigars, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, it's just, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because, we spend a lot of money. We do. We spend a lot of money on this stuff, and it's unfair to get something to only find out it tastes like absolute shit. I mean, if you're going to pay $40 for something, it needs to follow standards, okay? It needs to go under, some sort of quality inspection, so by the time it arrives from the manufacturer to the customer, it's in perfect condition, okay? Padron is a prime example of, how they are successful today, because a Padron is always consistent, always. I've never had a bad Padron, ever. And I've smoked a ton of them. I smoked at least, over 20 of them. The 1926 version and the 1964, which I both love. And I love the fact that 64 has that, cocoa, hints of notes or whatever. And the 26 is a little more complex. Some days I just like to have complex tastes. And that's when I reach for the 1926. But Padron is a prime example of paying for quality and consistency. And that's what they're known for, is consistency. Arturo Fuente, I have no idea what they're known for, to be honest. I've tried, all sorts of Fuentes. I've gone down the list. and I wasn't too crazy about them. Other than the Opus X, I would have to say the Anejo is, decent. But the place that I go to, the Anejo, it just always has, and the other Fuentes that I've tried have issues with lighting, staying lit, getting the combustion to get going. The draw is never as smooth, as other cigars. So I don't really understand. You're paying premium price, and it's bullshit. Excuse my language, YouTube. But I tried Anejo. I've tried the pink. What was it? Pink something. These names get kind of ridiculous sometimes. Hot pink or rare pink, right? I tried that one. It was like $60 a stick. Are you kidding me? And I tried it and I was just like, really? Is this much money for this? It's absolutely nuts. And then I've tried other ones that were okay, like the, Casa Cuba, the the 858 or the 808. I think it's 858. The Queen Bee, and some other stuff. I don't know, man. But there are some days where I do want to smoke an Anejo because it's Dominican. And sometimes I do want to smoke Dominican because it has a very distinctive flavor. But I can't count on it. It's never the same. It's similar to previous times that I smoked it. And I hope in the future that it still tastes the same, but the taste is always slightly different every time. And like with Padron, it's always the same. You can always expect the same. And that's why I love Padron, is because the taste is always consistent. The same with My Father cigars. The taste is always consistent. My Father Cigars is another brand that just has been around forever, and they've just been doing great. The Flor de las Antillas by My Father, is one of their best ones. Has a very nutty flavor. And by nutty flavor, cashews, peanuts, all sorts of stuff. So it's very distinctive flavor for days that you want to have nutty taste. Sometimes nutty tastes you just don't want to have because it's just, it's a certain type of taste. But some days you'd be surprised. Like me, some days I just want to have one. And it's great for those days. But it's quality. It's quality. You can taste the premium quality of the tobacco from My Father cigars. I love My Father. I love My Father. I love My Father cigars. I love Padron, and I'll keep going down the list. But My Father is also associated with other cigars like the San Cristobal line and the Amor de Cuba, or the Amor de Cuba. Mi Amor, gosh, I can't remember. It's been so long since I smoked it. La Roma de Cuba, Mi Amor. And, that was kind of one of my first ones. It's actually a really strong one. In the beginning, I didn't think so. But then when I revisited it, I was like, wow, this is kind of a strong cigar. And it is a full, figure cigar. So, but I believe it's made by, My Father. And the San Cristobal, oh gosh, I love San Cristobal. The Parrot one, oh Jesus Christ, you can't go wrong with the Parrot. Swear to God. The San Cristobal, the original one, the Quintanese, or the, trying to remember the other one. There was another one. But it's peppery, it's spicy, but it's not overwhelming. And it just tastes like you're on an island, having some sort of like spicy alcoholic drink or something. It's just really nice after a while, and it just, I really enjoy it from time to time. So, all of those fall under the My Father brand. My Father just makes great cigars. They do. And it's nice that we have these New World cigars, that some people are considering better than Cubans. From trying Cubans, I don't think exactly the New Worlds are better, because I think Cubans are just, you can't beat a Cuban. You can't. And so anyways, I might as well just go through the ones I like really quick. Padron, my father, and then the line under my father, which is the San Cristobal and the La Roma de Cuba. The Romeo and Julieta line is pretty good. I know a lot of people are going to just maybe badmouth me and be like, Cigar Shark doesn't like, what's it called? Geez, I can't even remember the name. It's been a while since I smoked, guys. That's probably why I can't remember some of the names. Either that is because I've need more sleep or something. But let me see here. Romeo and Julieta. And then there's one that people just love a lot. And I always tell a story to people that this one guy... Well, let me figure out the name first. It's Plasencia. Okay, I don't really like Plasencia. So lots of people love Plasencia. I always tell a story, and I told the story last time, that, some guy online, he loves Plasencia, blah, blah, blah. And he remarks that it reminds him of antique furniture. And to each their own, but antique furniture, give me a motherfucking break. Like, why would you want to smoke dusty, crusty, nasty-ass antique furniture on a cigar? But to each their own, right? I mean, I have my own taste too. I like certain things too, so whatever. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is the Romeo and Julieta is made on the Plasencia farms. Oh, Jesus, man, how can I not like Plasencia if I love Romeo and Julieta? I don't understand it. So, I don't know. They have to make it different, obviously. But how can they make something, how can the original brand, like Plasencia, make something superior, in my opinion, like Romeo and Julieta, than their own brand? It doesn't make any sense. So with Romeo and Julieta, I like the Book of Love. I like the vintage, I think it was 1875 or something. Really nice, but I don't like smoking it all the time, but every now and then it's pretty nice. Book of Love is kind of hard to find sometimes. There's one that some people don't really talk about online much, but it's called La Galera. And La Galera, the one I got, I can't remember what it was, but it has a very sweet taste. It's very distinctive sweet taste. And, young guys like me, we like sweet stuff, right? We start out with sweet stuff and then we go to the hard stuff later. So the La Galera, it's nice because you can almost instantly taste, that sweetness to it. Is, kind of sweet, chocolatey, kind of taste. Whatever, I can't remember much, but it was good. It's really good. I really like the La Galera line. And they have a bunch of other ones there too that I haven't really tried. But Macanudo. Macanudo is really hard to rate because they do have some good stuff there. But, some of the stuff... Actually, how should I say this? Macanudo is good, but every single Macanudo that I've tried has had issues with the draw every time. And I tell you, if a cigar has a bad draw, in my opinion, you just wasted your money because it's a bad cigar. You do not want to spend hours and hours and hours trying to relight cigar. You're in the moment, you're trying to relax, trying to have a good time. It's ridiculous. One of the Macanudos I love is actually coffee flavor. It's really good. It's probably the best coffee flavor. And when I say coffee flavor, it's not the tobacco. It's whatever they added to the tobacco, whether it was essential oils or whatever. And it really does taste like coffee. And it's great. It really is. But it always has draw issues. Hey guys, just continuing this clip, I got cut off. So yeah, Macanudo, it's I think they create quality stuff. It's just for me at least, I've always had an issue with the draw, every single one. Same thing with Gurkha. Gurkha actually, has very unique flavors. They really do. Not to jump off of Macanudo, but Macanudo is, it is what it is. I think it's good, but it does have draw problems every time. And so to me, it's it's not really something worth spending money on because, it has issues with the draw. So that's my opinion on Macanudo. Gurkha, people have different opinions on Gurkha. I know Gurkha is trying to advertise themselves as, a luxury brand, whatever. But, and I know it doesn't really work. The thing is, Gurkha has so many different cigars. It's like they just pick a bunch out of their blends. Like they just pick every blend possible that they can make and just label it with something. So that's why you have some that are really good and some that are just not so great. You can, look around and you try some. The only way you're going to find out if you like a Gurkha is you got to try a different couple of them. Some expensive ones, some cheap ones, and you'll figure it out. But I really do like them. Their flavor is so distinctive compared to other people. But apparently they get a bad rep because, some people think that they're overpriced or whatever for what they are. And to an extent that's true, but I maybe once or twice had it draw issues, but for the most part it was good and I really enjoy them. I do. If I can get a nice Gurkha, I will do it, and it's a nice smoke. So Padron, My Father, Romeo and Julieta, Gurkha. I don't have too much left. I do, but I'll just go to it. Drew Estate. You guys know Drew Estate. We all tried Drew Estate before at one point. I mean, if you haven't tried an infused Drew Estate when you first started out, I don't know what you guys are doing. But I have to pay homage to Drew Estate every now and then because that's what I started out with. I started out with the Cohiba. People diss the Cohiba saying that it's, a shitty cigar because it's infused, blah, blah, blah. Infused are not good. But, to hell with people because they are making a unique product with the Cohiba. Okay, first of all, it's very pleasant. It's pleasant to smell. It's pleasant to smoke. The way they produce a cigar is with natural essential oils. Okay, there's no chemicals added. There's no BS bullshit. It's natural, and they add that into a room, and they let it sit there till it soaks in with the tobacco, and you get this nice, sweet clove slash. I like to call it a sugary goodness because that's what it tastes like. It's this sugar heaven. The Cohiba was the very first cigar I ever smoked, and I'm so glad that the tobacconist I went to recommended me it because to this day, if I had not started out with that cigar, I probably would have never gone back to cigars because it's an entryway. It's an entryway to the cigar world, in my opinion, especially for young people. Older men, they don't like the sweet stuff. They just don't. They like the traditional, tobacco flavor, and they don't want to put up with, something that tastes like candy or whatever because they think that's not worth their money. And that's fine. As we get older, we mature, we have more mature tastes. We want something to be a certain way, and that's fine. For the rest of the crowd, like us young people, we like to start out with stuff that's sweet, stuff that's exciting. We love exciting stuff. It's not that we don't appreciate the traditional stuff. It's that we have to grow and mature to appreciate that traditional stuff. But we like to start out with the fun stuff first, right? We like the exciting stuff. We'd like to see, I used to smoke marijuana. Not anymore. It just wasn't for me. But, marijuana the advertising is so enticing. You have some sort of cartoon of like a magician or something, or it's, the actual name of the cannabis is enticing, like Gorilla Glue or Skittles or Granddaddy Purple, So it's fun. They make it fun for people, and I think that's why people enjoy cannabis because it's kind of magical in some ways. You get the high, you get the experience of trying something new, and then you get it crossbreeded with, one type of plant with the other, and then you combine the two and you get something else, and then they name it something, like AK-47. Who comes up with AK-47 for a plant? It's funny, but it's cool, you know. So cigars. It's kind of the same way, but not too many of the companies do what Drew Estate does. Drew Estate is king. I don't care what anybody says. They are king. They cater to everybody because they have something for everybody. They have the sweet stuff for the young people, but then they also got other stuff for the more mature people. And the one that I'm talking about is the Liga Privada. Man, that is a great cigar. Liga Privada number 9. If you haven't tried it, don't knock until you try it. Talking to you guys. Liga Privada number 9 is one of the flagships of Drew Estate. Natural tobacco, aged for how many years. Flavor is incredible. I tell you, it's $30 a stick, but to me, it's worth it. It's worth it for me to spend money on quality. I'm a quality person. I don't like cheap stuff, guys. Like, cheap stuff, it's not that cheap stuff are for losers or for people who are desperate or poor. It's not that, because everybody appreciates everything differently. The thing with cheap is that you just never know what you're going to get, okay? Sometimes it could be great, and sometimes it could be really bad. But for me, when I go to a tobacco store for a cigar or whatever, I don't want to come home shorthanded. I want to come home with something amazing. I want to come home with something great. And some people I see go to the store, they get maybe 1 or 2 different cigars. Me, I can't do that. I have to get a bunch. And the reason why I get a bunch is because I don't want to come home and smoke something and be like, oh, this tastes like shit. Excuse my language, but there's no point. You just ruin your experience, okay? You're going to a candy shop. You got all sorts of candy on the wall, right? And it's basically what you're doing. You're going to a cigar shop. It looks like a candy shop in your mind. You're a kid. You're looking up all the inventory. You're like, wow, this is so cool. So many different kinds. Oh, look, they got new ones that came in recently, so you want to try those too. But I do. I get a bunch, and my tobacconist loves me because I spend a bunch of money. But I get a lot of them because I like variety. And I want to be able to say, hey, at least one of these were great. And that's how I was able to establish my favorites, because I was able to try so many. And I've tried, you want to talk about New World cigars? I've tried almost every single one of them, to be honest. Every single one of them except for Davidoff. I have a review on Davidoff cigarillos, which were horrible. But, Davidoff is well known around the world. I have not tried the regular cigars. I want to try the Yamasa and the Late Hour. But they're not available. They're like Opus X, right? Only certain, shops can have them, which is, it's really dumb. I don't know why they do that. Excuse me. So that's kind of the rundown, I missed one. And some of my viewers, maybe Jeff Hurds is thinking, oh, you're missing one. Rocky Patel. People, Rocky Patel, it seems like the internet hates Rocky Patel. And I have no idea why. Because Rocky Patel, in my opinion, is the shits. They're the shits because they are leaders in tobacco coffee flavor. And by coffee flavor, I mean natural tobacco with no added, nothing, no essential oils, no. They just discovered how to make tobacco that tastes like coffee. Seriously, like espresso, after aging a certain period of time. And Rocky Patel, the inventor, in my opinion, he is awesome. An Indian guy, not to be racist, I think Indians are cool. Indian guy entering the Gurkha's Indian guy too. But Indian guy entering the cigar world, you just got to imagine, cigar started out in Cuba, which is mainly Hispanic, but this, Indian guy is a really cool guy. He's got a great brand. He's got quality cigars, another premium cigar maker, in my opinion. But people online, they complain, they say, oh, he's too expensive for what you get. Tell me some other person who's got coffee flavored cigars that actually taste like a fucking espresso, okay? Tell me somebody else besides Padron or, practically nobody else. I mean, the Rocky Patel 60, ooh, man, perfect. If you're not grabbing a Starbucks, if you're not grabbing, a cup of coffee somewhere, wherever you go, the Rocky, seriously, the 60 by Rocky Patel, oh God, it is so good. It is so good. It's pricey, but it's good. People don't want to spend the extra money. That's kind of the problem with some people who don't want to spend the extra money, is they're never, ever able to truly get to the next level when it comes to taste or quality in a product, because they're so used to being frugal and cheap. And I get it. We have to work with our budgets. Some people can't afford it. They just can't. But you have to understand, when you enter certain industries or certain, occupations or whatever, some things are just going to be more expensive than the rest of, the world. And one of those things is cigars. A cigar is not a cigarette. Cigarettes are cheap. I shouldn't, let me backtrack. Cigarettes are not cheap at all, actually. The quality of the cigarette is cheap, okay, because it's heavily processed tobacco that is squashed into a little tube. And cigars is different because it's for one, it's advertised different. It's advertised for people who are classy and upscale, whatever. And I kind of like that part of it, but the thing about cigars is that they're handmade, they're fermented, they're aged for a certain period of time, and they're hand rolled by people in Hispanic countries like Central America, like Cuba. And that is really something to see, because that sort of tradition has been going on for years, and they're still doing it. The fact that civilization has not moved towards machines to mass produce these cigars, and they're still carrying on the craft of doing it handmade, that's an art form. Truly, it is something to behold, because not everybody does that anymore. With the advancement of technology, with the advancement of the human race, things are always trying to innovate to become new, interesting, and more efficient than the previous generations. But cigars have always had that fashion to them. They've had for decades that tradition of that handcrafted, nature to them. And it's artistic in a way. It's beautiful. It's beautiful what they do. It's beautiful what the rollers do. So where am I going with this video, guys? I know I've kind of gone on, kind of on a rant, and, like I say, I'm sorry that I've been, away. It looks like I've lost some people, which is fine. If I was away for that long, and I was subscribed to somebody, I'd probably leave too. Thank you so much for the people who are subscribed, who do watch, who do comment. I appreciate reading your comments. I enjoy reading your guys' comments. One of my top videos right now is the Cigarillos video. I have a lot of people commenting on there and, saying that they really appreciate, what I've been doing. And, you're welcome, you guys. This reason why I'm here is to help you guys out on your journey, to kind of give you the, direct, straight to the point information without trying to advertise or fool you into something else, because that's just not me. I'm an honest person, and I like to give honest feedback about stuff. So like I say, I am going to be taking a break. I'm going to make a separate video about a good friend of mine who's no longer on YouTube. He's actually on Rumble now. His name is Cigar Bear. Maybe you guys have heard him. Me mentioned him a bunch in the past, but he's no longer on YouTube because he's gotten flagged, and YouTube has, I guess, gave him some sort of extreme warning saying that he was promoting and advertising tobacco, which was a harm to society. God, YouTube is becoming ridiculous. Ridiculous. You can't film or do anything anymore like you used to. It's absolutely absurd. And I don't want to go on a huge rant, but YouTube is really something. I think they've just gone downhill because, especially in the cigar world, the top cigar channels probably only have 20, 30,000 subscribers max. It's such a niche area on the internet, on YouTube, that, cigar people who review stuff don't get a chance. They don't get a chance to have that wide of an audience visit them or, look at them. Yeah, but then you have and I love women. I don't want to rag on women or anything, but you have all sorts of, I don't know if I want to talk about it. I just say you have all types of people on YouTube doing silly stuff for views, and they get tons of views and they get tons of attention. But something as delicate as, cigars, reviewing cigars, it's a review. You're not promoting anything. Nobody's paying these people, to make these videos. Sometimes people like me or Cigar Bear, maybe we do have the intention to get monetized eventually. But, we start out as doing this for fun because it's what we enjoy doing. And when you get flagged or whatever, it's just really disappointing because, we really aren't hurting anybody. We aren't, we're not saying go out there and smoke a cigar. If you come to a cigar channel, it's because, number one, you're interested in finding out more about it, or you want to try it or whatever. It's not like you were led here by an advertisement in a newspaper, So YouTube needs to chill out because YouTube, the algorithm is unfair to some, channels, some topics, some genres, like cigar, channels, and but then they glorify and other channels that might be promoting sex or stuff like that. So it's really screwed up. It really is. I'm not happy with it anymore. It's, I do this for fun. I guess I did want to, eventually get monetized. I do try hard to push out content that I think people like. And if you guys, have your opinions about my video, if you've been watching my videos for a while and you think, I should improve or do something a certain way, and let me know. I'd be really interested to know. I know I'm not probably the most entertaining person in the world compared to some channels. But I do think I put good advice for stuff if people are willing to listen. Anyways, if you make it this far in the video, thank you so much. I recently was able to see some photos of my subscribers, and you guys are awesome. You guys are cool. Excuse me. It looks like you guys all come from all sorts of, some people are different countries or subscribe. Some people, different races, whatever. And that's just awesome. It really is. And, even if I'm not here, you guys, I would, recommend checking out some of my older stuff or whatever. And see what you think. I think I have improved from the beginning when I first started. When, I was just starting out until now. But, like I say, I've tried pretty much every single cigar out there for the New Worlds except for Davidoff. I've tried pretty much all of them. So if you guys have any questions at all about a certain kind, by all means, let me know, and I'll respond to you in the comment section and let you know my opinion about it. I think I have a pretty good palate. Like I said, I don't like cheap stuff too much. I like quality stuff and I like consistency. Um, one more thing I want to add is I made a video on El Salvador, when I got my Cuban cigars. Let me breathe a little bit. And, I was able to give some to my friend Cigar Bear, and is a little disappointing, not for them, but for me, because I knew ahead of time that the cigars came out kind of bitter. And, it's too bad. Sometimes in the Central American countries, it's a hit or miss. You don't know where they're getting cigars from. You just take it from, what they say. And, I went to the Sheraton Hotel, and so I figure, oh, Sheraton Hotel, that's decent, so it must be legitimate, right? And they told me they had a section for New Worlds and they had a section for Cubans. And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not getting New Worlds when I know I can get Cubans, So, let me tell you though, these Cubans were, they were expensive, guys. Like seriously, like especially the Cohibas. The Cohibas I found out were the most expensive, ridiculously overpriced. We're not even talking about Toro size, or we're talking like slightly smaller than Robusto size for $100. It is absolutely ridiculous. And when I got home, to my place in El Salvador, and I tried it out, it was absolutely bitter. I swear to you. No, well, all of them had kind of an earthy taste to them. It was kind of earthy. But that was it. That was the flavor profile of all those Cubans. I tried the Cohiba. I tried the Partagas was good. But I'll talk to you guys about that in a little second here. Cohiba, Partagas, Bolivar, Monte Cristo, and I think there's one more. Yes, there is. The H. Upmann. Okay. The ones I tried in El Salvador was the Cohiba, the H. Upmann, and I think that was it. Okay. They weren't horrible, but I did question to see in my mind if they were legitimate or not, because I'm like, Cubans are well known around the freaking world. They have to be amazing. Point blank, period. Because they're the originals. They're like the founding fathers, of the cigar world. So, to get straight to the point, I got some H. Upmanns for my friend, or at least I consider him my friend, Cigar Bear on YouTube, for him and his family. And at the place I went to in El Salvador, they said they were authentic, but I told him through a letter that they weren't authentic because I didn't want to disappoint him, because I knew ahead of time that they were bitter. And when they reviewed it, they didn't really like it. They, said it was bitter and it was just not good tasting. And I agree with them. I totally agree with them, because that's the same thing that I experienced. What I did notice, I don't know if this is true for all Cubans, but what I did notice after my vacation in El Salvador is I let them sit for like 4 months. And believe it or not, I had them inside of a little pack with humidification. Apparently Cubans like to keep their humidification around 72%, which is interesting because the New Worlds stay at around 69%. The Partagas, I tried after 4 months later, and the bitterness was gone. It tasted amazing, guys. It was so good. It was literally like, I want to say, almost the best cigar I've ever tasted. And for once, I felt like, man, this must be what a real Cuban tastes like. It's awesome. It was so, the way I can describe it was like, how do I describe the taste? Not strong at all, but just so smooth. Smooth smoke, smooth taste. Um, it's a luxury. It is really a luxury. It's what it felt like. I'm out there on my porch smoking the Partagas. And it's funny because the New World Partagas, I don't like at all. I don't like the taste of them. But the authentic Cuban Partagas, it was I think it was number 5 or something. It was really good, and it made me. My bad, you guys. This is part 3. I got cut off again because the file size limit on the video, but yeah, the Partagas made me give a new kind of respect for, or new hope for trying Cubans again, because I really felt like, hey, this is what it really tastes like, and it tasted great, guys. I know they always say, the saying goes, the longer you age Cubans, the better they get. And maybe that's what I'm supposed to do after you buy them, I figure you don't have to, because at the shop they've just been sitting there in humidification, so why would you need to let them sit even longer? I don't understand. But I did notice the change in taste. They weren't bitter anymore. The bitterness was gone, and they just tasted smooth. Really good. After that, it makes me want to go, visit Cuba and just buy a whole bunch of them. Seriously, guys. It is a luxury, and the truth is there. Truth about Cubans is there, and they're not overrated. They're not. I don't know, maybe, some of those people, they've had their fill on Cubans, or they started out with Cubans, or they just got tired of them. I don't know, but I don't think they're overrated at all. I think they, in some ways, they do taste better than the New Worlds. The New Worlds, the way I can describe it from one YouTuber is, he said he only buys Cubans. And of course, he doesn't live in America. He lives in United Kingdom. Yeah. He only buys Cubans, and he says he hates New Worlds. No. This was actually a man who was interviewed on the Allison Kirby show, or Allison Kirby channel. He says he hates New Worlds because New Worlds have all sorts of different flavors, which is true. And that he only smokes Cubans because Cubans, taste a certain way, whatever. So, I don't know if that necessarily makes New Worlds bad. It's true that Cubans are the OGs, when it comes to cigars. But, for us Americans, New Worlds are good enough, I think. When I smoke a Padron, I think I'm smoking quality. Something really quality. And you got to hand it to the Central American countries, because they're doing their thing. They have, their soil is different. It's different than Cuba. The seeds that they have are different. It's true that some Central American countries actually borrow seeds from Cuba to plant and grow there, but it's still going to be different because the mineral makeup in the soil is different in Central America than it is Cuba. And you have some people in the New World business who are actually from Cuba, like Padron. Padron and Fuente were actually both born in Cuba, and then they migrated to Florida, which is pretty awesome. So you do have some Cuban makers here who are making New Worlds. And there's there's other people who have followed foot too, and in Florida and whatever, who've come from Cuba. So, yes, I would definitely like to visit the country and buy a whole bunch. And I'm the type of person that would spend good money on them. And that's what I did when I went to El Salvador. I saw the New Worlds, and I'm like, okay, I can get this back home. I'm not going to buy any of those there. So, I spent as much money as I could. And it's too bad because I spent a lot of money, guys, and I wasn't able to get that much because they're just so damn expensive, especially the Cohibas. Now, Cohiba, have not tasted a good one because the ones I tried were bitter. But even if it is good, the one I really want to try is the Behike, because I've heard good things about it. But even if it is good, I just don't think it's worth that much money. Like, I don't. Like, some of the expensive New Worlds, like the Rocky Patel Conviction, which was $100. It's good. It's really good, actually. Lots of sweetness. Lots of sweetness. And it's so different from other sweet cigars. But, ugh. Special occasion, right? Special occasion. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. Cigars are expensive. When you want quality, it's gonna cost you. So, but and I've changed over time. When I first started out, I was smoking 5 a day. And some people, come to me and they're like, "What? You smoke 5 a day? You're crazy, man." And I know it's crazy. It's, cancer right there, right? Not good. But if you want to know, I have seen videos on YouTube where some people have claimed to smoke 12 a day. Yikes. 12 a day. I don't think this guy was bullshitting. He's talking to his friend at a bar in Florida, and they're both making a video. I'm not going to, say names, in respect to their privacy, but these guys were funny. And one of them said, he was like, oh, 6, 4 or 5 or 6 a day. And then the other guy was like, 4, 5, 6 a day. Man, I'm talking about 10, 12 a day. I'm like, holy shit, 12 a day. You are addicted, dude. You are freaking addicted. You are asking for cancer. Seriously. I thought I was asking for cancer by taking 5 a day. You definitely are asking for cancer, buddy. God bless you. I wish you luck in your life, but that's a lot of cigars to smoke in one day. He must really like cigars, and he smokes Maduros, So, nowadays, if I buy a bunch of cigars, I'll, I might just narrow it down to just once a day, because, it is a lot of time. Just smoking one can take an hour and a half, or an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depending how slow you go, But it's great. I've enjoyed my whole entire time, this whole journey with it. I still remember the first time I tried cigars. Started out with the Cohiba, started out with the 1964 Padron, and Flor de las Antillas by my father, and those were all great. I'm so glad I tried those when I first started out. Excuse me. I know this is a long video, and I appreciate you guys who have stuck in this long. I will be taking a break, and a break from cigars. My family's having some issues pertaining to health, so I want to be able to take care of my health so that I can be strong for them. And I know a young guy like me, if I smoke cigars, it'll take like 30 years till something actually happens. But, maybe I should be thinking ahead too, in terms of my health and getting back into shape and, taking better care of myself. So, I wish I could continue. Who knows? Maybe I'll be back in the future. I was going to make a video of actually the tobacconist place that I go to, because I'm pretty good, friends with the guy at the shop, and I asked him if I can do a video. He said, yeah. And so it'd be really cool because I have good video equipment that I can record and show you guys the shop here in California. See how it compares to your state or your country. And show you the selection that we got. Because this guy's shop, he's got literally every single brand you can think of except for Davidoff and Opus X. He doesn't have Opus X, but another shop that I go to has Opus X, but I don't really go there that much. And I won't be going because the ones that I bought were all bitter. So, anyways, I'm probably going to end it here. 2024 was a crazy year, as you guys probably knew. All sorts of stuff happened, like a young fellow getting in a fight with Mike Tyson. Jesus, poor Mike Tyson, a senior getting beat up by a young man. And, some people say it was controversy because, like it was a staged fight or something. Whatever it is, man, you don't just rag on a legend when he's like old and gray and then claim victory over that. That's ridiculous. And that guy, I think his name is Paul or something on YouTube, is most hated. How can you be the most hated person on YouTube and then come out with something like that? It's disrespectful. It's disappointing. It's a laugh. It really is. This new generation of, young people, it's an absolute laugh what people are doing for money, these days. And I don't know. At the same time, Mike Tyson agreed to the fight, and he, the reason why I'm talking about it is because I like to keep up with boxing. Over the years, I've kind of felt like a lot of the stuff was staged. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Pacquiao versus Mayweather. I thought that was a staged fight, in my opinion, because I felt like Mayweather made some sort of agreement with Pacquiao, saying, I think he knew he was gonna lose because Pacquiao was just number one for so long, and I think Mayweather, made an agreement saying, hey, if I win, I'll pay you this much, whatever, blah blah blah, and Pacquiao accepted. I don't know if it's because he's from a third world country or whatever, but that's when I kind of saw boxing go downhill. And then when I heard about this, I was like, this is flat out. Mike Tyson would have crushed this guy. If you had seen Mike Tyson's training and everything beforehand, he would have ripped this Paul guy apart. This Paul guy is a YouTube, famous guy. Here I am talking about boxing on a cigar channel. What am I doing? No, I like to keep up with other stuff too, guys. I do other stuff in my life besides cigars, obviously. But, 2024 was a crazy year, and, I'm looking forward to 2025. I hope that my recommendations for you guys today in terms of, which cigars that I like and appreciate can, kind of help you out if you're still on your journey trying to find something good. There's a guy on my channel, I know he probably thinks I might talk about him too much. Same with Cigar Bear, but Jeff Hurds, if you ever see him, comment on my channel, he's a cool guy. He really is a cool guy. He loves Rocky Patel. If you guys ever have any questions about Rocky Patel, I'm sure he can answer them for you. He seems like a really lighthearted guy. He enjoys the hobby, and he was the one who referred me to Year of the Dragon by Rocky Patel in one of my other videos. And Year of the Dragon, just like the Rocky Patel 60, was so good. Oh man. It's a limited edition run. It tasted like cinnamon all the way through. Cinnamon, some nutmeg, coffee, and espresso. Amazing cigar. And people hate and rag on Rocky Patel, but you can't find any other maker who can make coffee and espresso as well as he can. That is natural without any chemicals or whatever added to it. So, Jeff Hurds, haven't heard from you in a while, man. Hope you're doing all right. I know you probably hopping around the different, cigar channels. That's cool, man. And to my other subscribers too, some of you guys I haven't heard from. I would like to hear from you guys. If you guys are still alive, you're still around kicking it, leave me a comment sometime or just say hi. I really enjoy reading your guys' comments. I think the cigar community is great. One of the things I love about cigars, other than smoking it, is the male camaraderie. It's just nice to be with other men, talking about stories or life, just kicking back and smoking a cigar. And I think I really enjoy that because we're able to, for once come together and communicate and talk about life and enjoy things. They say women, and I'm not sexist or anything, but women are great communicators. And part of that is because they're always communicating and staying in touch with each other. But men, are busy a lot of the times doing things. And I think cigars is just a great way to bring men together, to be able to bond, laugh, have a good time, and smoke something that's enjoyable. I think that's the great part of it. I would love to, I don't know if Cigar Bear would allow me, or, any of you guys, if you live in California or maybe a nearby state. I know, Cigar Bear is in Florida, but, I really would like to venture out and go to a cigar lounge and just chill and smoke a cigar and, maybe give you guys my recommendations or share some. I don't mind like buying and sharing cigars with people. I don't. That's why I send a whole bunch of stuff to Cigar Beer, because I just enjoy it. I don't expect anything in return. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the social aspect of it, and sharing with other people, because it makes me happy to see somebody else enjoy something that I do. So, that's all I have for now, guys. Who knows what the future will tell? Who knows when I'll be back? Take care of you guys. Seriously. Let me know if you guys are, in the comments, if you're looking forward to a new cigar this year. If you have, your own recommendations, or maybe like if I do return in the future, what would you like to see in a new video, or in the series of videos that maybe would be helpful to you guys. That'd be cool. I may make one more video just to, I wanted to highlight Cigar Bear because he has a really unique channel. And the reason why I mention him so much is because I haven't really met too many other people in the cigar community. I know there's Holt Cigars. I really like that channel. Of course, he's an older gentleman. I like Allison Kirby. There's some other people too. A lot of the channels, most of the people seem pretty laid back. I haven't found any that were kind of in my age range. And I don't know why, with the whole family, with, Evan and his brother-in-law Nick and father-in-law, they're just so relatable. They're out there having a good time, smoking cigars, trying different stuff. Now they're part of a Cigar of the Month club, and they review stuff all together. Ron, the man of the house, or the father-in-law, was absent for some time, and now he's back. And it's cool because I really like his input, because he's an older gentleman, and he likes, he likes traditional cigars, traditional tobacco taste. He doesn't like the sweet stuff at all, which is cool, and they all have different opinions. And Evan, he's just so honest. He's so damn honest, even in his paid reviews, he's honest about everything. And that's what I really like. I really appreciate somebody who's just the same all the way through, to themselves, true to themselves, and they're not gonna give up their dignity or honesty for sake of money or whatever. And he was honest about the Cuban cigars, and I love that, because I absolutely knew that they were going to hate those because they taste like shit. But I wanted to give them something, because they did give me a Cuban cigar once, so I wanted to return the favor. So, but he was honest about it, and he was like, what, I really don't like these. I'm going to give it like a 2 or 3 out of 10. And I'm like, yes, you're staying true to yourself. That's good, man. So I may make another video about him, just saying goodbye. If you guys want to find out more about him, he's on Rumble now. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll migrate to there as well. I'm getting sick and tired of YouTube, and I think YouTube's just full of shit, and they're just very unfair to a lot of creators. And they're just, there's a lot of, like I say, there's a lot of channels out there promoting sex and other stupid stuff, and they're getting views and making money and stuff. And traditions like cigar channels are not getting the attention and the money that I think people deserve, which is too bad. So Guys, it's been real. It's been real these past couple of years. I've tried so many cigars. I was hoping, I could, you know, get a ton of subscribers eventually. That was my goal, but I'm thankful for whoever watches because, quite honestly, I appreciate more people who enjoy my content versus people who are just, you know, subscribing for no reason or whatever. I'd rather have 60 real people than 100 fake people. So thank you so much for the people who are subscribed to me and people who have commented. New people, you're always welcome to this channel. But like I say, if you ever have a comment or anything, or if you have a question or need a recommendation, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you for sure, for reals. I have no problem doing that, even though I'm going to be on my break for a while. I just thought I'd make this video because, I just felt like, I should let you guys know so you guys aren't just guessing. Maybe some of you are guessing, maybe some of you don't care, which is fine. But to people viewing my channel, now they know what my situation is right now. So, if I do come back in the future, expect a highlight of a cigar shop with some awesome footage for reals, guys. It's gonna be good. Who knows? Maybe it might be sooner than later. I don't know. But right now I need to take a break and take care of things for my family. And cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good 2025. Bye.